Okay, I'm Lizzie and I'm a high schooler. I am a bit creeped out by my friend, Mika. Mika is a cute girl, a Japanese girl living in America. She's a pretty girl with a narrow, triangular face. She's very cheerful and tends to be really touchy with me, but I always feel a little drained when I hang with her. I wish she could come to my house, but she says she doesn't visit anyone who has a dog. She has some weird habits which are a bit cute, but still. She once bit me softly to be cute, I think. She can be a real asshole. She has a tendency to mess with and lie to people. Like one time, she somehow managed to get a guy to eat wood chips. I don't know how she did that, but she was bragging to everyone about it at lunch. She never answers the phone, which is weird because I know she has a phone because she keeps messing around with her phone during class and the teachers just do not care. She tells me stories about medieval times, but says them in ways that make them sound less like old legends and more like funny memories. Even when it's something like, and then he killed her. Also, I know she's probably into the furry fandom, as she has this weird clip-on tail that moves as if it were real that she sometimes comes to school with before taking it off in the bathroom, and when surprised she screams in a way that sounds like a very angry wild animal. Her laugh sounds like this, which is cute, but weirds me out. She once said, "I'm cat software running on dog hardware with a dolphin soundboard, but with a human external drive." All of this is just weird, but here's an encounter with her I had this weekend. She invited me to a sleepover at her house, and I went there. She didn't give me directions. She just said, "You'll know it when you see it." It's a giant mansion. After 20 minutes of walking, I saw a huge mansion, and she hugged me, telling me to come in. Parents were nowhere in sight, which was weird for a 16-year-old. She said they were on a business trip for the weekend. That sleepover was exciting, but also weird. I found a bunch of red hair piles in random places that didn't seem like human hair. She has black hair. And I always felt weirdly tired, as if some part of my energy had just been stolen. But what really convinced me she wasn't human was, when I went to bed, I woke up on a mattress in a landfill with her nowhere in sight. I passed out while walking home due to how exhausted I was, which was odd, as I was asleep for a while and was taken back home. I'm a bit afraid of Mika now. Did she teleport me to a landfill or something? She has also done many other creepy things, which may be rumors. Apparently, she hung out in the woods near our small town and invited a guy out to hang out with her. And he went missing for 2 weeks, and was so traumatized from whatever he saw that he hasn't gone back to school since. He also seems to have a pathological addiction to her. She always eats the same thing every day, and pretty much every guy at school has a mega crush on her. They always give her gifts. She absolutely freaks out and screams like a banshee every time someone touches her necklace. Oh, I didn't mention she always wears a necklace with a dark black and purple pearl, I think, pendant, because she does. And sometimes it looks like something's moving in front of it. She calls it her starbit. All of this easily convinces me this girl is not a human. Does anyone have an idea what she is? Like, is she a fae or something? When my wife and I had our first baby, we didn't think twice about getting a video baby monitor. It gave us peace of mind to be able to check on her from bed, especially during those first few months when sleep was a luxury. It worked fine, a little fuzzy here and there, but reliable. At least that's what I thought until a week ago. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke up and decided to check the monitor. The screen was unusually static-filled, but I could still see our daughter, Rose, lying in her crib. Her tiny chest was rising and falling, and I felt that rush of relief, knowing she was okay. But as I was about to put it down, something in the bottom right corner of the screen caught my attention. There was movement, just outside the frame, almost like someone was standing there. I could only make out a faint shadow, but it looked like the figure was facing the crib. My first thought was that I was just tired, seeing things, so I rubbed my eyes and stared at the screen again. The shadow was gone, but there was something new. Faint text on the screen, barely visible through the static. I thought maybe it was a glitch, but as I squinted, I could make out the words, "Can you see me?" My stomach dropped. I stared at the monitor, trying to make sense of it, telling myself it was just a trick of the light, maybe interference from another device. I was about to set it down when Rose suddenly stirred, her little legs kicking. The static faded just enough that I could see her eyes open slightly, looking somewhere past the crib, as if she was staring right at someone standing next to it. I flew out of bed and rushed to her room. I opened the door, flipped on the light, and found her lying in her crib, looking up at me wide awake. I checked every inch of the room, feeling ridiculous but unable to shake the feeling that someone had been there. I found nothing. The next few nights were quiet, and I convinced myself it had been some weird technical issue. But then, last night, something happened that I still can't explain. It was 3 a.m. this time. The monitor was already on my nightstand, so I grabbed it, not fully awake, just doing my usual check. At first, everything looked fine, but then I saw the static start to thicken, almost like smoke, swirling around the crib. My heart began to pound, but I kept watching, too afraid to look away. Then, clear as day, I saw it, words again like they were burned into the screen. "Why did you move me?" My skin went cold. I hadn't moved her. Her crib had always been in the same spot. But then something clicked. Before Rose was born, we'd moved her crib from one side of the room to the other, closer to the window. Trying to keep myself calm, I went to her room and found her asleep, undisturbed. I checked every corner, but again, no sign of anything out of place. I thought about waking my wife, but what would I even say? Now I don't know what to think. I want to believe it's just a faulty monitor, maybe even my sleep-deprived brain playing tricks. But every night since, I keep hearing that same question in my mind. Why did you move me? And I can't help but feel like we weren't the first to set up a crib in that room. I thought it was funny, personally. As I drove home, I passed the town's only stoplight. I was listening to the radio for local election results. Our mayor, who hadn't lost an election in over 20 years, was running unopposed. I don't know what possessed me, but I decided to write myself in. The radio crackled as I continued down the strip, passing the grocery store and at least $3 Generals. Then, Ollie Bransford's voice boomed over the static. "All right, it's another election day in Shara County. We're expecting some tight races for alderman today. And as usual, Mayor Harlan Drover is running unopposed. Should be a quick one there," I chuckled. "Oh wow. We've got early results and projected the winner for mayor of Shara County. Let me guess, Harlan Drover," I said dryly as I turned left, passing the final $1 General. "Let's just get it over with. And the winner who won by 2 votes is Benny Sinclair." I hit the brakes and pulled over to the side of the road. Did he just say Benny Sinclair? That was my name. Was I now mayor-elect? "What a shocker, folks," Ollie said over the radio. "I've never seen something like this happen before." I sat in my car, shocked, as I turned down the radio's volume and sat there silently until my phone rang. It was a local number I didn't recognize. "Hello," I stuttered, still puzzled. "Benny Sinclair, this is Mayor Harlan Drover," the voice said. "Congratulations on your win." Yeah, about that. Yeah. I'm a little shocked by the results myself. I didn't even campaign, sir." "Well, regardless, how about you come down to the town hall, so we can begin the transition? You still have a little bit left in your term, sir. I would rather get the ball rolling so you're fully prepared for the responsibilities of Shara County," he replied with a strange and obtuse tone. It felt almost sinister to me. "So can I expect you here in the next 30 minutes? "Let me check my schedule," I answered, trying to figure out an excuse to get out of going to town hall, much less actually be the mayor. "Yeah, it looks. So I can see you in 28 minutes? He interrupted. "We have much to discuss, and there is no better time than now to do it." "Okay, I can," I replied, trying to think of another way to get out of going there. "That's great. I shall see you in 27 minutes. He continued before he hung up the phone. It meant I was now going to town hall. The parking lot held one car as I gazed from my windshield at the aged, almost Gothic structure that was strangely our town hall. I stepped out of my car and looked at the double doors, wondering if this would become a regular sight. Was I really going to be the mayor? As I walked down the dimly lit hallway, its old tile a familiar sight in government buildings, I called out, "Hello?" Each step echoed through the space. A door at the end of the hall swung open loudly, and a barely visible silhouette stood in the doorway, too dark to make out. "I see you made it," the voice reverberated across the hall. It was Mayor Drover. "Hey, Mayor Drover. So I came like you asked, but I still think it's a little early to start the transition." "It's never too early." "All right, I guess," I replied as I continued to walk towards the mayor. I realized I'd never really seen him before. He was a shorter man with very deep eyes that showed signs of exhaustion. His posture was slouched as he extended his hand. "Congratulations, Mayor-elect," he replied, shaking my hand with a limp grip. As he guided me through the door to a descending staircase, he added, "So let's go over a couple of things." "Listen, I wrote myself in as a joke," I said, looking down to see the darkness deepening as we descended further. "I don't think I'm mayor material." "Nonsense. Democracy has spoken. I won by 2 votes. "Well, there were only 2 people who voted for mayor." "Oh, that's kind of weird." "Well, the voter has spoken," he responded, beginning to walk down the stairs. I paused, trying to process everything that had happened. "So are you coming or not?" I relented for whatever reason and began to follow him down. As I descended further, I had to ask, "So am I really going to be the mayor?" He turned his head and gave me a smile that sent chills down my spine. "Being the mayor of Shara County is quite the responsibility." "Yeah, and like I said, it was pretty much a joke. The office of mayor in Shara County is no joke, Mayor-elect." "That's what I'm saying, Mayor Drover," I explained as the darkness deepened the further we went. But Mayor Drover remained silent, making me feel even more uneasy. "So can we do like one of those Florida recount things?" "Sure, we can do that," he exclaimed as we finally reached the bottom. A narrow hallway with a stone floor contrasted the tile from before. The hall led to a pair of oversized wooden doors. "So we're going to do the recount?" "Absolutely. We can do it right now." "How are you going to do that here?" "You voted for yourself, right?" he said, starting to walk toward the oversized doors. "So that's one of the 2 votes." As a joke, which I keep on saying, "I voted for you, too," he replied as he stopped in front of the doors. "Probably shouldn't have bragged about it to your friends. Word gets around fast in a small town." "Wait, why would you vote for me?" "Because I'm tired, Mr. Mayor-elect," he said as he began to push the doors open. "I've been the keeper of the town's secret for over 20 years. "What are you talking about?" I said as I heard the wind begin to blow violently from the doors. "The secret? Our town is the home of an old god," he answered. "The old god demands the blood of the leader when a new leader is chosen." "So why would you want a new leader?" I asked, as I watched a large hand appear from the door, slowly moving to Mayor Dover. As he smiled at me one last time, while the giant fingers wrapped around him,